you want to have your character like this, right? Right, you want to have it like, so it's standing like this, right? And then it's gonna hit its down pose like this, right? Just the whole typical stuff you learn in the flour sack real animator training stuff, right? Now it's gonna, I'm doing this in a straight ahead way. Let's switch to pose to pose. So I'm gonna literally copy this for a minute here, right? And I'm gonna put this here, right? Let's say it's gonna land here like that, right? So bum bum bum, right? Bum bum bum, right? So we're gonna wanna go up, right? So we're gonna go up like a bouncing ball here at the moment, right? Right, and we're gonna have one leg and the other leg kind of trailing like that, right? Because that's what's gonna make it fun about it, right? I'm gonna have his hands like that, right? Bum bum bum, right? Then it's gonna land, and here's the thing that most people miss. The trick that most people miss about this thing is, when you have a big bounce, right, you're never gonna, like, this is why we talk about bouncing balls, right? So back to the basics, Pedro. The ball just doesn't bounce once. If it's a nice big bounce like that, it'll bounce again and settle, right? So that's where we need to go with this, right? So this foot has come down here, and I'm gonna have this foot coming down here, delayed up here like that, right? Like that. Let's play with the angle of that, right? See the underside of the character, right? So we play with the angle like that, right? We play with that, right? So we're getting some nice, this we don't really talk about in the intermediate archive. We're even more basic, right? But we learn about the pelvis in the basics archive, but with the flour sack we kind of stick to a little bit more basic. Now I'm gonna kind of have his hands locked here, right, like this, bum 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 bum, right? Now as he comes, he's gonna land. We're gonna go into the squash pose, right? I'm gonna go into the squash pose, right? And we're gonna have this one almost like this. So this one will be under, right? Got to think about your walk cycles. So this one will be under like that, right? So, and then this can change into these lines like this. Again, look how now he's gonna say, I'll shove it up your nose, right? So we're gonna make something out of this finger, right? We're gonna point a finger here, and we're gonna open his hand up here, right? And this is all, right, coming down here like that, right? Then he's gonna come back here like this, right? So already we've got a clear difference in what's happening with the legs, right? But we're gonna settle it now because we're gonna add another little step, like another little bounce, right? So he's gonna be bounce up a little bit here from here, right? Like this. Right. And look how careless I am with the drawing, because all I'm interested in is working out the actions and the movements, right? This is what's important to me, right? So then the other little bounce, he's gonna step here like that. Then this leg's gonna come back here like this. Then we're going to make a circle with that arm. We're going to have him bring that there like that. Then this pose is just kind of becoming a guide for the finish, right? Just so I knew where he was going to finish, right? So I'm going to, as that comes down into there, there'll be a bit of a weight shift as we bend into that, and we bring this leg forward. Right. So we really want to kind of emphasize this shoving it up the nose, right? Thing. Not a care in the world on how my drawing is, right? Because I know that this is the way to map things out, right? And we really want to emphasize this shoving it up the nose, right? Like that. Then we're going to settle back. So the settle is very important, right? The settle is super important. So again, the bouncing ball principle is kind of like king here, right? So again, Grayson asked about straight ahead. See, I've switched into a very straight ahead way because I kind of know what I want to do on the poses. So we watch this guy here. Squash and stretching is important indeed, absolutely. So here we've got like this. I'll shove it up your nose, right? So there's more life to the character because he got that little after step. It's not the bounce hair that makes it good, Pedro. Like that's baby shit, right? That's the stuff that the symbol animators, the people crying about AI, that's the stuff that they do, right? Oh, look, I got a little bounce, and then I'll freeze the character, right? Remember, the ball doesn't just bounce, it comes to a stop, right? It's settled, so we've got a number of little bounces, and there's also stuff going on in his hands there like that, right? So that's a lot more animated, right? So, Pedro, go back and do the flower sack swinging the... Let me tell you what exercises I want you to do since you're in the training library. Remember, go back and refresh yourself with this exercise. Let me just bring this in. Go to member dashboard. So let's go into the intermediate archive, Pedro. You're going to go back and learn what you've forgotten, right? So we've got the squash and stretch tutorial here, where you're going to learn the jumping sack again, right? And the timing. And then you've got anticipation. You've got to do this as well. This is again, this character anticipates and he re-anticipates, and then there's more stuff happening there, right? So you got to do that. And then I also want you to, you could do them all actually, but if you want to just like, you should do this one as well. Follow through overlap, because this has kind of got it, everything. All of the previous things are in this one. I also recommend that you do the primary and secondary one, just to give yourself more refreshments, because this little action here is a secondary action, but it's what makes the animation, right? The bounce is alright, but the little few steps afterwards, that makes the animation, that gives them personality. So you got the primary and secondary action exercises. So go away, Pedro, and please refresh yourself with that.